Hello guys and welcome back. My name is Jenya. Today's video is going to be full of everything. I have a bunch of laundry, cleaning, organizing, decluttering, as well as unexpected or spontaneous room makeover. Most of the action today is going to be taking place in our guest room / my quiet room / the room where I throw our clean laundry before I get to fold it. So I'll be starting today's video with that laundry, and then I'll clean, organize, and declutter that disaster room, and then all of a sudden I'll decide to paint that room and then finish it with adding some massive DIY shelves to it, with of course a little help of my husband. So let me show you the before image of this disaster room, and then we'll start with folding all of the laundry in here first. The top of the white dresser is filled with a bunch of stuff that needs to be decluttered and organized. We basically need to completely transform this room today, okay? I'd like to let you know that I will also be sharing some personal updates with you today. Some of you might have noticed that I was gone for a couple of weeks all of a sudden, and I want to share that quite a shocking story with you today. And while I know that I don't have to, I just choose to. So all of this is coming up in today's video, and for those who may be new to this channel, I'd like to quickly introduce myself. Once again, my name is Jenya. Way over 10 years ago, I came from Russia to America in hopes to start a new life, but only about 4 years ago, I met my now husband. He is an American. After getting married, we got ourselves a little kitten, and then we had 2 kids, and just now recently we adopted a puppy. My daughter is 3 years old, my son is almost 2, so far there is 6 of us, including the animals. I stay at home and make cleaning, organizing, and decluttering videos, and one of my favorite things about making these videos is giving you the cleaning motivation you may need. And every time I hear in the comments that you watched my video and then you got this done, you got this checked off of your to-do list, you got this organized, it makes my day. So feel free to always let me know in the comments what it is that you have on your to-do list. Is it a cleaning project, organizing project, or a huge declutter that you gotta do? How long it has been on your to-do list? And I really truly hope that you will get started sooner or later. As for me, this laundry has been waiting for me for a couple of days now. These are mostly leftovers that just never get done. A lot of times I come in here and just grab whatever clothes I need, and knowing that it's somewhere in here. But the one thing I never actually get to organize is a bunch of socks that is always in here. So I myself do not have a lot of socks, and I know that if I am out of my socks, that means I am way past due on folding the laundry. But that is okay, we'll get it done in just a few minutes because we have so much more stuff to do today. And I will come back and talk to you in just a little bit.
It's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night.
Dropping off some clean laundry in my son's room, I'm going to organize and declutter a little bit of his clothes while I'm there. He is the youngest in our family, and I was never quite sure what to do with the clothes that he grew out of. To be quite honest, we felt quite content with 2 kids in our family, especially my husband, but I just always had a thought to myself, what if we had a third? And although we had no such intentions, I always thought I would be pretty happy if that was to happen. And so whenever I decluttered my son's or my daughter's clothes, I never really threw everything away. I kept all of my favorite pieces from both of them, and I thought I would be giving it away to a family member, but that just never quite happened. So I store my son's decluttered clothes that I like in his closet, and my daughter's in her closet. And when it comes to their very tiny outfits when they were newborns, the ones that are my favorite, I kept in a little basket. And that is in a different room, but actually I wouldn't call it that little anymore.
It's just us two, me and you.
If you ever feel like you have anything to say to me directly, or maybe a question, you can always send me a direct message on Instagram. It is @FromJenya_with_love, just like this channel. Other than that, you can always leave me a comment here on YouTube under any of my videos in the comment section. I know I have been absent for the last couple of weeks, but I have been getting back on track. So if you ever feel like you have anything to say to me directly, or maybe a question, you can always send me a direct message on Instagram. It is @FromJenya_with_love, just like this channel. Other than that, you can always leave me a comment here on YouTube under any of my videos in the comment section. I know I have been absent for the last couple of weeks, but I have been getting back on track.
dancing up in the stars. Oh, where I'd rather be than with you. Oh, oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, I just feel so lucky. Still can't believe you love me.
I'm just dropping off some microfiber cloths in my kitchen, and then all that's left is my husband's clothes. I'm gonna drop it off in our closet, and when I do that, you might notice that our closet is pretty stuffed with clothes. I have been planning for forever now, actually since last year, to declutter that entire closet. I still haven't done that declutter, but I have been planning ever since we moved into this house. That happened, I think, now about 7 months ago. There are always projects and things to do. I definitely do keep myself busy with projects and my hobbies. As a mom of toddlers, my kids take most of my time every day. However, if I don't make my free time for just myself to do the things that make my heart happy, I would not be as positive of a person in general as I consider myself to be. So that time when I fill up my cup is extremely important to me, and I make sure that I have time for it nearly every day. And so there are a lot of things, projects and to-dos that are still on the waiting list to get done in this house, and there always will be, and that is totally okay with me.
Away from the city lights, so small under the night sky. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out, even after all of these years. You still look at me with the same love. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out. You could never wear me out.
I think around this time I stopped cleaning the room for about 10 days. I took a break. That's about the time when I took a break off of YouTube as well. And now I am coming back here in about 10 days or so and continuing with the project. And I'll tell you what happened in those 10 days. A few days prior to this cleaning, I actually found out that I was pregnant. And although I felt like I was over the moon, that's not quite the peak of the story. It gets a bit twisted, but I also wanted at this moment just to take a minute and mention that I am definitely aware that not everybody may find a pregnancy announcement delightful at the moment. There's always somebody who may be dealing with a miscarriage or a recovery, just difficulty to get pregnant in the first place. And I totally understand if you feel the need to switch off this video or maybe come back to it later as I continue with my story. So I'm gonna be quiet for just a few seconds to help you decide if you want to stay and hear the rest of it.
I don't mind. You could never wear me out. You could never wear me out. Far away from the city lights. We're far away from the city lights, so small under the night sky. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me.
In the meanwhile, I am getting closer and closer to that bunch of socks that I've been waiting to deal with for forever now. I am pretty much out of my everyday socks now, and they are all in here, so I need to just take care of it right away. After we're done with the socks, we're gonna continue cleaning up, decluttering, and organizing the room, changing the bed sheets, and all of that stuff. Some of you might be aware that for most women, the first trimester of pregnancy is kind of the hardest because you have no energy, there is morning sickness, and all of those lovely things that come with pregnancy. However, this time for me, it would be my third pregnancy, so I started experiencing a lot of pregnancy symptoms. However, this time around, they were, I would say, ×3 as strong. I had absolutely no energy. Sitting down for me was too much energy to spend. and I had to lay down. Based on what I knew and experienced before, this was just extreme situation for me, mainly the energy aspect of it. So at this point I decided to take it easy, take a break from everything and come back when I feel just a little bit better. However, I was still not ready to announce my pregnancy to anybody except for my husband. I am a bit superstitious and prefer to wait until the end of the first trimester. And so I issued my YouTube video and said that I was going to take a break for maybe a week or maybe two. And immediately after that, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started bleeding. This time, I would like to apologize to any of you who find it too much information, and I don't mean to get graphic, but there is no other way I can actually explain this. Most of you guys are women who are watching this channel. A lot of you also have kids, so I'm sure you'll understand. Now again, not to get too graphic, but I was not just worried about a little bit of bleeding. It was a little bit too much for me to just dismiss it. I know that a little bit during pregnancy is okay, but based on what I know in general, what I was experiencing, I thought I was miscarrying. I had my first prenatal appointment already booked about 3 days from then, and this situation happened on the weekend. I chose not to go to the emergency room, and I'm sure a lot of you would disagree, but that was my choice at the time. From everything that I was reading about miscarriage at that moment, I was sure that at the emergency room they would probably just check on me and then send me back home to let my body continue to do whatever it needs to do and start healing, and then schedule an appointment with my OBGYN and go and check out how I'm recovering. So at that moment, I decided to just keep my prenatal appointment, which was scheduled in 3 days. So I would call them, let them know what happened, and then go in and let them check on me instead. And so as those 3 very sad for me days have passed, I showed up for the appointment, of course calling them ahead of time and telling them what I was experiencing, and they said that they wanted to have a look at me. And of course they wanted to do an ultrasound just to see what exactly is happening. At that time, my husband and I were both convinced that I had miscarried. So here I am in the room with the doctor having an ultrasound, and very clearly on the screen I can see a small baby, or a fetus at the time. But the second I saw that baby move, I got really confused. At that point, the lady, the ultrasound technician, she turns around and says, "You did not have a miscarriage. That is your baby right there," and I hear a heartbeat. As a matter of fact, there is 2 of them, she said. And that is how I found out that I was going to have twins. So there you go, that's my news. There is a few more things I wanted to say regarding this topic. However, I feel like I've been talking for a while now. I'm gonna give you a break, let you enjoy the video because it is actually a cleaning video after all. And I'll talk to you more in just a little bit.
Mistakes haunt us, but do they really daunt us? Your tongue can be sharp, cut me close to the heart, but we can master the art. And the thing is that these scars are scary, but they are just small scars. We should never be afraid of them.
As you can see, I have just hung a new organizer on the outside of the door. I got 2 of those gray organizers from Walmart on sale. I think it was something like $20 for 2 of them. And so this gray organizer basically cost me about $10. In this closet, I keep my bathroom extra refills, not just mine, but for everybody. Basically, this closet has everything that I would consider either extra or small miscellaneous items, or refills like toilet paper, tissues, bathroom supplies, light bulbs, etc. It is not extremely disorganized, but as I have been putting more and more stuff in here, it actually could use some more organization at some point soon. But as of today, now with this new gray organizer on the outside of the door, I can just at least spread out the things a little bit better that were all on the inside part of the door. Also, it is not my plan to keep displaying all of my nail polish removers on the outside of the door, but this is the most practical solution for right now. When I organize the inside of that closet and bring in some more shelving, then I'll put everything on the inside and there's going to be no displaying of my things on the outside of the door.
So I just close my eyes and dream about our kids and how they're running around. Won't you come and lay down next to me? Close your eyes and we'll be free.
I cannot stand how everything always ends up on top of this dresser. It is my number one spot because I throw the things I don't want the kids to reach on top of that dresser. I always have been just putting the markers up there as well, and so far there have been no accidents up until today. You will see that later in this video. It was heartbreaking for me. But anyways, recently I've just really been wanting to get some big shelves for this room so that I can stick things that I normally put on that dresser, as well as things that I don't want my kids to reach for. I feel like we just don't have enough shelves in this house yet. We really need to get on top of that. I've just been taking one space at a time, thinking that we have all the time in the world to live in this house. However, after finding out that I was pregnant, I feel like I already entered my nesting mode in the first trimester, and I just want shelves everywhere. I am like on steroids trying to get this house organized and just update it, upgrade it, whatever needs to get done. I want to get it done as soon as possible. Also, no matter how much I try to hide my pregnancy, at this point I'm actually fully showing. And as I have been spending a lot of time trying to learn everything about twin pregnancy, there is quite a lot I have been discovering. And the fact that I am showing so early in this pregnancy is really quite normal when you're pregnant with twins. Everything happens really fast, you start showing immediately, and also that is exactly the reason why I have been feeling so extremely low on energy at the very beginning of the pregnancy. This is actually considered to be one of the signs of being possibly pregnant with twins, when you are feeling extremely low on energy.
Wish that I knew how to go on. Baby, you and me, we're so messed up together. Even if we tried, we'd be stuck here forever. I don't understand right now how to make it through, but I'll get over you, and it's not like I'm gonna hate you. It's what it is, nothing left that we could do. Even though it hurts right now, we will make it through. I'll get over you. I'll get over you. Back when I met you, we were like fireworks. Thought nothing could break us, but oh how we got burned. Look at us now, we scream, we fight, and no one knows the reason. We're both getting out of line. Now say goodbye and try to move on. I'll get over you, only wish that I
As I was done cleaning this room, it really became clear to me where I wanted my big shelves. It was right on the wall between those two windows, but when it comes to the color of the walls in this room, I didn't really care for it, but it wasn't bothering me much either. But my husband really could not stand it, and so I decided that if we are going to hang a large shelves over there, and knowing that I would have to paint this room at some point, I decided, okay, I'm just going to paint this wall at least, so that we can hang my shelves. Does it make sense? So I had leftover paint from the laundry room. It's always the same paint ever since I painted my kitchen cabinets in the old house. I had this great paint leftover that I really liked, so I used it in our laundry room. As I ran out of the paint, I went and bought some more, and I decided to use the leftover right now in this room. It is by Valspar, the color is alabaster. It's a little bit off-white. As far as I heard, at least from people who know something about design, the white color is going to be #1 color for 2023 when it comes to the interior of the house. And so I am very confident to just go ahead and put this color anywhere I want to in this house. Although my daughter's room is probably gonna end up somewhat pinkish, we're probably gonna think of something else for my son's room as well. But as far as the rest of the house is concerned, I think a little bit of white is going to be my go-to color. Also, I know there'll probably be a couple of you who would be concerned about me being pregnant and painting. I was just thinking about painting this single wall at that moment. I also had the windows wide open, as you can see. I'll have my son out of the room as well. He's not gonna be in there while I'm painting. As soon as I realized that I was gonna paint more than one wall, I immediately went on Amazon and ordered myself a painting mask. I will show you the mask as well in a few moments. The mask arrived pretty fast as well. It actually arrived as soon as I had to do the second coat of paint in this room. I'm only filming the first coat, so you are not gonna see me wearing the mask and paint in this room, but trust me, I am okay. I took very many frequent breaks, especially with having 2 little toddlers in the house. And also, I am not planning to paint the whole house while I'm pregnant. I will probably do some painting outside with my mask on or something, or maybe my husband is gonna have to paint things while he's off work. We'll figure something out, but I promise you I am not being careless. I started with just throwing newspapers on the floor wherever I was painting. Next time I would use a floor cover, but this time I'm just going to find some boxes, rip them apart and use the cardboard on the floor to protect it from the paint in just a few moments. It worked fine, but as I mentioned, I wasn't exactly preparing for this project, and preparation is everything, but it turned out perfect anyways. In case you're wondering, this whole room took me about 2.5 days to complete both coats, and of course I had to buy some more paint. But like I said, I am definitely showing. It's getting harder for me to hide. I'll slow it down for you in a second so that you can see, but keep in mind this is only around week 9, maybe 10, and this is exactly why I'm gonna have to step aside from my beliefs and start telling some family members that I'm pregnant before the first trimester is over. And the plan is, on the day that this video comes out on Saturday, it is my son's birthday, he's turning 2, and our closest family show up and we're going to tell them that I'm pregnant. As we're finishing up with the last wall in this room, I'm going to show you the mask that I got from Amazon. So I'm going to wear this painting mask as I do this second coat.
Inside your bedroom, we stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm. Physical silence, no need to speak.
Heading outside, I'm just going to put some natural stain on this wood that my husband got from Home Depot. Danish oil is my favorite, but I'm using this stone for the first time, which is natural, and it's basically gonna leave the lumber as it is, which I really didn't mind. I like the idea of light color in this room. And so at this point, the second coat on the walls is done. The room is ready. My husband's going to move the furniture back where it belongs, and then he's going to hang those shelves.
Oh my God, you know you're playing your cards so right. Oh, I'm a sucker for hearts, just the dirty clubs and diamonds.
Alright, do you remember I told you about those markers that I normally just put on top of that white dresser in this room? The kids would have never reached them until my husband moved all of the furniture in the middle of the room and my daughter could stand up on the bed, get to the dresser, and get to those markers. I never really had to address the situation of drawing on the walls in the house because it never really happened before. I never really felt the need to talk to my kids about it. I don't know, just never crossed my mind. Anyways, I wanted to include a little video of an incident that took place a little bit earlier that day. I normally am very aware of what my kids are up to, exactly what they're doing, and this was probably one of the very rare times when I was actually enjoying my time downstairs, knowing that the kids were upstairs, probably in the playroom, and if not, then probably making some messes, which is okay because I'll clean it up later as long as I'm left alone for just a minute now. I was thinking that until my son showed up downstairs, and here is the little video. Look up, Mama. What happened? Did you do that, or did Annie do that? What's on your face? Come look in the mirror. All right, so they drew on the walls that I just painted.
Oh my God, it's so cruel.
So I'm gonna fix it. At first I tried the magic eraser on its own, it didn't do much, and then alcohol with magic eraser did the magic. The walls were completely dry at that point. I decided that I wasn't going to just keep scrubbing all day long because I would have gotten it all off, but it would be easier for me to just go ahead and give it a couple of more coats of paint just in that area where they painted with the markers. That seemed to have solved the problem, and by the time you will see the after pictures pretty soon, you will not be able to tell that there was any marker there. Back to the shelves, my husband's gonna cut them to size and then hang them. Also, I wanted to share with you that I have finally found the best way, at least for me so far, and the cheapest way to get brackets in case you're into DIY shelving or are planning to do some DIY shelving. I used to spend a lot of money on Home Depot brackets. This time I went with Amazon order and I ordered 16 of them for almost 40 bucks, which comes down to about $2.50 per bracket. That's a great price for these heavy duty brackets. They're basic looking, but I am happy with them. I'll leave the link in the description in case you're interested. In fact, as I looked around on Amazon, you can buy them even cheaper if you buy a few more from the same shop that I bought them from. Right now it is time to finally clean up the mess, do one more sweep and some final touches, change the blanket on the bed once again. I just want to make sure that no blankets smell like paint. We're probably gonna have some relatives staying in this room for a couple of nights because it is a guest room after all slash office slash just quiet room, but in the future this is going to be the room for the twins, I think, and then we'll move the bed out of here. But we have a little bit of time to think about it because right now I just want the things to go smoothly and have my next appointment to just confirm that everything is fine. I'm still not comfortable talking about pregnancy since it's not even second trimester, especially that pregnancies with twins normally end really early, meaning that it's probably gonna end up in C-section, but I'm not even ready to think about all of that. Right now, I'm just learning a lot about twin pregnancy as it is and what to do with them when they show up. How do you feed them both? How do you burp them both? And all of those questions. But there is one more thing I did not mention is why I was bleeding in the first place when I thought that I was miscarrying, and that was my placenta. Apparently, it's not a huge reason for concern, or maybe they just can't do anything about it, but I did not get any sense of concern or panic from my doctor, and I definitely learned from this scary accident. It just never happened to me before, and this time is a bit different after all.
But I haven't done much healing. It's pretty clear to me. Kinda strange how I can take a beat from my better self. It's like no one else even really scratches the surface. 'Cause nobody gets.
Watching this video back, I realized that I completely forgot to get any kind of curtains for this room. The old ones that were here previously, the kids drew on them with the markers as well, unfortunately, but they needed to be replaced anyway. I have a couple of curtains that I may use here temporarily, and when I get a chance, I'll get nice looking curtains for this room.
Escape from my hideaway. I give up all of my little addictions, but I'm still stuck with some tough decisions. Yeah, now I'm up against the wall, and I'm looking for your attention.
I got a little leftover paint on the floor because I was not prepared properly. So this is just a wet microfiber cloth, and as long as it's a water-based paint, it comes off the floor just fine. But anyways, it is time for me to show you the after pictures. After that, I wanted to place a couple of pieces of decor on those shelves, and I just grabbed whatever I had on hand at that moment. Just a little lantern as well as a picture. I'll keep changing it around, seeing what looks good, but definitely let me know if you have any suggestions down below in the comment section. I'm gonna show you the final after shot, and then I'm gonna show you the comparison of the before and then the after. Also, if you have anything to say to me or maybe ask me and you don't feel like leaving a public comment here on YouTube, you can send me a direct message on Instagram. I have been absent from social media, but as I'm starting to feel better, I'm hoping to get back on track. Also, this is a vertical picture, but I thought maybe we could make it work in this room, maybe not. Let me know in the comments if you have an opinion. That is going to be all for today's video. I'll see you next week, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye bye now.
I give up all of my little addictions, but I'm still stuck with some tough decisions.